Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of What's Happening Now. And as always, remember to like, share, and comment on this broadcast live, as there could be somebody who's not only interested in it, not like a family or a friend, but perhaps a neighbor. So tonight's broadcast is being brought to you by Consofta. Consofta is the all-in-one marketing platform designed to empower coaches, consultants, and small businesses. With Consofta, you can streamline your entire business from client management to email marketing. All right. So we have a lot that's been going on with CNI Solutions. We've got a lot of events coming up, a lot of networking and marketing things going on. On top of all that, we're still running the entrepreneur class. We're running our Boost classes for helping small businesses scale their business. If they're already in business, we're also running that. But we're now going to be going into our Power for basically we call it Power, which is to help those in our boot camp class for entrepreneurship. So Brittany, what is your thoughts on starting that one?
I'm extremely excited. When you brought it to me, I was just confused on how we was gonna make it work. But then after going through it and seeing your PowerPoint and seeing what information we're able to give them in this boot camp to actually get them excited to come to the launch is actually amazing for me. So it's just kind of like we over here with how they call Kobe and Shaq. I'm gonna throw you the ball and you let me on alley hoop it, and I love it.
All right, outstanding. And we're excited to do this class. We're going to be doing it at Drake State Technical College here in Huntsville. So we are definitely excited about that. So tonight we have a special guest in the studio with us. She was here before a couple years ago. We had some audio difficulty back then, but we're straight now. And we have Miss Pamela Thompson here to talk to us about Sickle Cell Foundation here in the greater Huntsville area. Miss Pam, welcome.
Thank you.
So you brought a bunch of material here. Last time you was here, you gave us some great information. I know my other co-host, Mr. Brewster Fombing, his son was, I should say, I want to say a recipient of sickle cell, but he had it, and there was a lot of things going on with them. So talk to us, what is sickle cell, and how does it affect me and our viewers?
Sickle cell is a hereditary blood disorder that you're born with. You get the sickle cell disease from both parents if both parents have sickle cell trait. And you get sickle cell trait in many cases, even if both parents have the trait, you have that 50% chance of your child having the sickle cell trait, a 25% chance of your child having the sickle cell disease, and a 25% chance of your child being normal. So a hereditary blood disorder, that's the major factor there. And I have to say that all the time.
Really? So when you talk about hereditary blood disorder, and we hear sickle cell all the time, how does it affect us as an individual? Is it something that everyone should go get checked to make sure they have it or don't have it? Or is there symptoms that will come on that says, hey, it's possible you might have sickle cell, you need to get that looked at?
Well, in the state of Alabama since 1988, we have been having all newborn babies. They're tested when they're born. And so that's why we have this newborn screening. So anybody born from 1988 up, they were tested. So they know their status. But individuals who were born prior to that may have been tested and they don't know their status. So what we've been doing now, if anybody wants to know their status, they have to come to our office or go to their doctors, get a blood draw, and request a sickle cell test. And thank the Lord that many who have come to be tested have all been negative. So that's been a great thing to know.
That's awesome. I tell you what, I see you brought some great information here for us to look at. And viewers, I know some of you all can't see it, but we have it here. But you said that there's some new treatments out here for sickle cell. And I think, what is this, hydroxyurea?
Hydroxyurea is one of the major.
I got it.
Hydroxyurea. It's one of the major medications that's out helping our clients deal with sickle cell pain crisis. It's very good. And then the other one is abroxurea. That's a new one that just come out, and it's helping our clients also. So many of our clients that do not communicate with our sickle cell office, the older clients, may not be familiar with these drugs. And that's the purpose of us being in the community, We go to a lot of health fairs. We try to pass out this material to all so that they can read about it. And I have many clients to say, well, I know somebody with sickle cell. I'm going to take this information to them. So we have a comprehensive sickle cell clinic at UAB in Birmingham that's treating many of our clients. And they're also doing studies. So if you're interested in trying to find ways to cure yourself of sickle cell disease, then that particular clinic is doing trials and they will help you.
All right. Well, I mean, we got a couple questions already. We got one here. It says from Miss Pamela. She's saying, would you say sickle cell predominantly affects African Americans? And if so, I guess there's any known reason as to why this is? That's a good question, because like me and you was kind of talking about that backstage. You know, what do you say to that?
Well, it affects us because many of our ancestors came in here from Africa, various forms of Africa. And so they brought the trait. The trait is already in your system. So the trait moves through generations and generations. And so that's why so many, say, Black people have sickle cell disease versus the other races. But we want to also clear up that sickle cell disease is in all races. It's just more prevalent in African Americans than any other race. And so we find that out every year when we go to our national meetings. We find clients who are non-Black who get up and give testimonies. They were just told that they had blood disorders and they were having all kinds of symptoms and couldn't figure it out. And then someone said, let's test you for sickle cell. And so, of course, you know, your sickle cells, your cells are round. And when they be sickled, they turn into a shape like a sickle instrument, or we say the shape of a banana. Right. And then it starts to block the oxygen through the body, which causes the crisis, the pain in the arms and the legs. And so that's it's just more prevalent in our race than any other race.
So I tell you what, our viewers and those who's watching, I've learned something new today because I didn't know that. I did not know that's what actually happens to the cells in your body. Okay. Another question. It says, what are some of the symptoms of the sickle cell? And of course, one of them is pain that you just talked about. Is there anything else?
Well, your temperature goes up. And so there is anemia. There's swelling of the hands and the legs, sometimes the feet. And if you're tired, you can't figure out why you're so tired. And a lot of our clients, we say delayed growth because they're not large. You can see them, most of them are very thin. Very thin. So just all kinds of little things. Now, we have brochures that we pass out to all of our people that want them. And with sickle cell, it also, because of the medications that they're constantly taking, it starts to deteriorate the kidneys. And so as you get older, many of our clients had to go on dialysis due to that. But we had one client who lived to be 69, and she told us that she just watched her diet. And that's what you have to do for all of us. Watch what you're eating. Make sure you stay hydrated. That's plenty of fluids in the body. And the temperature where you are, if it's extremely cold, you might go into a crisis. If it's extremely hot, you might go into a crisis. So those are just things to look at. Now, if you have family members who are complaining constantly about different things and they don't know their status, ask them to request a sickle cell test just to see if this is what's causing their pain and problems. And so if this is, then we got medication.
Right. So one of the questions that I have, and we kind of talked about this, you talked about a trait. So should someone be cautious about who they're going to partner with in life? Ask them like, hey, do you have sickle cell trait? Should they be taking a look at that? Because there's that possibility when we come together and we decide to have children, our child may come out with full-blown sickle cell.
Yes. Well, we say to everyone with the trait, you're going to take, if you want to have children, you're going to take this chance. And this chance is going to be left up to you. We're never going to tell you not to have a child because everybody loves children and want a child. But keep it in mind, you got that 25% chance of having a baby with sickle cell disease. We have a family out of Florida, they're now gone. They have first child had the disease. Their second child had the trait. The third child had the disease. The fourth child was normal.
Wow.
And so, and they had that, when that child was born, that was normal. a mother called me and she was so happy. She says, Pam, this baby is fine. This baby is fine, because she was dealing with two
Right.
with the disease. They were constantly in the hospital because at first she didn't know what was wrong with them. They came in here from Arizona, and then they were diagnosed. And so she was able to deal with that after she found out this is what was happening. She said, I couldn't figure out why my babies were hurting and crying and whatever. So, but they did it well. They both graduated from schools in Florence and moved back to Arizona.
So when I know here in the state of Alabama, you said that they're testing that on all newborns now. Is that across the board in the United States, or is that just Alabama who's doing that?
It's finally across the United States. It was not. Alabama leads a lot of things when it comes to sickle cell research, sickle cell treatment, just the care of sickle cell clients. We're shocked because normally Alabama is kind of way down the line.
Oh yeah, we know about that.
So Alabama is doing extremely well with caring for their sickle cell clients. We're trying to get more funding, of course, but we are doing very well.
Right. Do you often find clients or potential clients who let this particular diagnosis go undiagnosed and don't realize that they have it, and like, hey, you probably should get looked at because this is probably what you're dealing with? Do you find a lot of those cases?
We find cases where here in Huntsville, we have many individuals living with sickle cell disease and living with sickle cell anemia. And for some unknown reason, they don't want anybody to know about it. It is not a shameful disease. I tell everybody it is a hereditary disease. You were born with it. You got it from one or both of your parents. You can live a productive life. You can't pass it on touching somebody. So come out of that shell and live. But we do have that in Huntsville.
Dude, so man, and it's crazy you say that, because just like you said, it's nothing that they have done. You know, do you find that people are being, I should say, I don't know what, being turned down or not being recognized for certain jobs because they let it know I have sickle cell or anything like that?
Well, this is one thing that we try to tell all of our clients: do not use sickle cell as a reason why you can't perform. And so get a job. Let them at least let your bosses know that you have the disease, and every now and then you may have a crisis, which means that you may have to be out from work from 1 week to 3 weeks until everything levels back out. But it's not like one young man told me. He said it never bothered him on the job. He worked like 30 years before he started having any issues with sickles, but he always let his boss know, I got this. And so, and when we had another example, the boss told me, well, he works extremely hard in the morning, but in the afternoon, he gets tired. And so he just can't work at the level that he works in the morning. But he said, we understand now. And so there's no excuse not to work if you want to work. Now, every now and then we have a severe case. And so those individuals are on disability. And so because they cannot function on an 8-hour job or even a 6-hour job, but we have so many now with this medication, they can work normally. They can do whatever everybody else is doing. There should not be a stigmatism against them. And so a lot of people, like I said, don't want you to know that they have it because they don't want people to, I say, feel sorry for them or try to belittle them because of something that they were born with. And every time I go out, I say, it's not a shameful disease. It's a hereditary disease.
So I got a couple questions on that. And we got another question from a viewer. It says, does having sickle cell make one more susceptible to other diseases?
No, because most of my clients don't have anything else but sickle cell. They're taking their medication. They're eating properly. They're staying hydrated. And people need to realize that water is a major health factor. If you drink plenty of water, everything that's coming through your system that's not good for you is being washed on through. So I don't have any clients who say, well, I got sickle cell and then I got this and I got that. And we don't have that concern. We don't have that problem.
So you mentioned, talk about Mamas on Disability. Is sickle cell part of the ADA?
It is. There are, like I said, different levels of sickle cell, different diagnosis of sickle cell. And all of our clients who are in school from grade 1 through grade 12. We have a 504 plan for them.
Mhm.
And this is the plan where if they need to get up and go to the restroom 10 times in that class that time, they need to get up and go. If they need water, they're allowed to have a water bottle on their desk at all times. So we are, we're part of that. And so if you're a part of it and you know the rules and the guidelines, and if you don't know them, we'll help you with that and make sure you got that plan at your school so you won't have any issues or any problems.
Okay. And just for all our viewers to understand and myself, what is a 504 plan?
Now, it's the plan. All children with certain types of illness and disabilities, and they're in the school system and they can't function as normally as the children without these disabilities. This plan is put in their file at school. Like I said, if they're going to miss a lot of days, it's in their file that this is what's happening with them.
Okay.
If they drop their head on their desk, and we have teachers looking at certain things that's happening with them. If they get jaundice, that's yellowing of the eyes. If they touch them and their temperature is up high, then they automatically are sent to the medical center at the school, and usually their parents are called to come pick them up. So it's just any disability, you need to have that plan. And every school has it. So just ask for a 504 plan.
It's kind of like an IEP as well.
Okay.
So you have the IEP and then you have the 504. Because certain qualifications with the IEP that they look for with a 504 plan, it covers the medical and behavior and things like that.
Got it. Because, back in my day, when I was growing up, I was the 504 plan. I was the IUP plan. I wish my kids did talk about, we need 504, Dad. No, that wouldn't happen. So you mentioned earlier there's sickle cell and then there's sickle cell anemia.
Well, actually, sickle cell disease and sickle cell anemia basically are hand in hand. And because anemia means the blood, you got a low blood count. And we have a lot of clients whose blood counts stay low. So they are more classified as anemic, more sickle cell anemic than the disease, because they're constantly needing blood. So, but it goes hand in hand. It's basically the same thing: sickle cell disease, sickle cell anemia.
Will the anemia bleed into the actual disease, or does it usually just stay in anemia and then disease are two separate people?
Well, it's really a disease, but your blood level is not as normal as it should be under the anemia part of it. And so, like I'm anemic, and I was anemic when I was a child, but I was a beet eater. I had to eat a lot of beets to build my blood up. And even with sickle cell people, they need blood transfusions. You'll see them getting really, really tired. That blood has reached its function. So we got this new process now. When you go down, they're taking your blood out of you and cleaning and putting your blood back in you. So with anemia, it's just low blood, very low blood. And we're getting people now to give more blood. And most sickle cell clients can't even think of the type of blood that they need. That's why we push blood so much. Give blood. And then if they've had blood transfusions a lot, then their platelets are different. So we have one whose blood must come from Florida, because whatever's in that blood will match her.
Wow.
So it's so important for us to give blood. We see the blood mobiles all the time, but I see we as a people shy away from giving blood, but we need to give blood as often as we can.
And not only that, just because of the fact that sickle cell is predominantly targeting our community. And with that, do you ever see if it's hitting the males more than the females, or females more than the males, or it doesn't matter at all?
It really doesn't matter with our clients, the ones that we have. Our numbers are basically the same with males and females. In some areas, there are more males than females, and but we're about half and half here in North Alabama.
That is interesting. That was interesting. So with this new treatment they got out, you talked about there should be no reason why someone with sickle cell disease cannot work or shouldn't work. That's they got the new medicine that they can take to help relieve some of that pain and anything. Is there anyone that this will not actually work at all? They're like, hey, we just can't do it. I've taken it and I'm still in pain. I'm still feeling my legs. My extremities are still swelling and so forth.
Well, like all medications, it will not work 100%
Mm-hmm.
for everyone. So what we recommend, if these two are not working for you, then there is research going on. So they're trying. There are other medications out there now that they're trying. But for some people, the largest strength of Tylenol helps them, and others it doesn't phase them at all. You know, that pain just stays there. But like I said again, hydration, plenty of good sleep, no smoking, no alcohol, um, just basically taking good care of yourself, eating properly. Those are the kind of things, like I just mentioned, I'm a beet eater. A lot of people don't like beets.
Mm-mm.
So things that you should eat that will help you. And I'm going to tell you this, and I got this from old school. When you want to fight cancer cells in your body, you want to eat greens, tomatoes, and onions.
Okay, I can do those.
I can do that.
You want to basically eat those. Anything from the root, from the garden, from the root, you need to eat those.
Okay.
So those are things that we push to many of our clients. Change what you're eating. Hamburgers, French fries don't work every day. So change what you're eating, watch your diet. Like I said, stay hydrated. And those are the things that you look for. And if you really, really don't know if you have sickle cell and you have all of these symptoms that we're talking about, then, like I said, ask your doctor for a blood test or make an appointment with our office to come by to get a blood draw done. And we will send that sample to the University of Mobile in Mobile, Alabama. That's the largest sickle cell research center, testing that blood constantly. And we get those results back, and those results will tell you what type of sickle cell you have, all of the different characteristics of it. So you will then know.
Yeah. Hey, viewers, those who are watching, I'm curious if you yourself may be with sickle cell or know a family or friend. You know, are they aware of the new medicines coming out, and what are they doing to try to help relieve some of their pains that seems to be working for them? Because as you heard when Ms. Thompson said, you know, some people are taking the strongest strength of Tylenol and it seems to work for them, and then for others it's not doing anything at all. You know, because as a community, I think we owe it to each other to try to figure out what's going to help our people, you know, to be able to function day to day when we have something like this. And when you're dealing with this disease as a whole, you know, I think the education of it needs to be brought forth to the table, you know, because there's a lot of things we just don't talk about, Pam. We don't talk about certain things at the dinner table. You know, we don't talk about what we need to do. We don't talk about going to go see the doctors. We don't talk about getting checked out, you know, and I think we need to start doing that more as a community and supporting each other. And when we're doing that.
Absolutely. So I didn't really speak too much listening to you with sickle cell because we had someone that we lost to sickle cell in our family. So seeing her go through all of this and not being knowledgeable and knowing how to help her in certain situations, it hits different for us because it's family. So when you see everybody else who's going through it and you want to help, but most people don't want that help back. They just don't want to take and face reality that it's something that is inevitable. When it comes down to that. So being tested, after losing her, literally the last 2 kids I had, I was looking at the doctor like, hey, I need to know. It's understandable because I saw the pain. I saw the things. And 10 years ago, we didn't have these medications, something that could have possibly helped her sustain a longer, you know, lifespan. But unfortunate for us, it's just, it hits a little different.
I understand perfectly. And like I said, we never talked about the diets, the things that people should be eating and drinking. A long time ago, nobody said a word. And then whatever everybody else was eating, that's what they would eat. Then later on, they would become sick, and you're like, what happened? And so I'm so happy to know now we are paying this disease more attention. We're finally getting some federal funds, and we're getting state research dollars. Let's see what's going on. And it's really happened. That Sickle Cell Comprehensive Center in Birmingham now is excellent for the adults. At first, there was nothing for adults. It was only for children. Once you turn 18, Children's Hospital let you go. And a lot of our young boys were just out there, nowhere to go, no direction, couldn't get anything. Now I'm sending it. Everybody that turns 18 got to go to the UAB Comprehensive Sickle Cell Center. We do have hematologists here in Huntsville that many of them go to because it's a good drive to Birmingham. But like one child said, I go to Birmingham twice a month now. They're working with me. I'm not in the hospital.
Right.
So that's the best part about it. You're not in the hospital. And I have to talk to my clients psychologically. You have to say to them, if they're telling me some days they want to give up, and I tell one lady in particular, we can't give up. We have a daughter. She has a daughter. We can't give up. We got to really fight. And you can see your daughter graduate from high school. You can see your daughter do other things. So that's been her driving point. She's got this child, and she, you know how you say, I'm tired of pain. I'm tired of taking medication. I'm tired of going to the hospital. But I keep saying, keep going. And so she thanks me for pushing her to keep going. And she's now 40, I think she's 45.
And you mentioned that, and that's so important because it makes me think about it, and it makes you think about the loss that we had, you know, because she was at such a young age. Is there something that those who have sickle cell, who's going through this, that they can do themselves to help prolong their existence, you know, with family and friends?
Well, in particular, I'll just give this lady another example. She was not eating anything nutritional. She was always eating candy and other things. And I had to get her to change her diet so that she could live longer. And she told me finally, she said, I finally got it. I'm not eating that junk anymore that I was eating. And so, again, we go back to getting some fresh vegetables, drinking plenty of water, washing everything out of your system that doesn't need to stay in your system. Because when you take these medications, you don't want them to just sit there in your body. You want them to do what they need to do and wash away all of the other ingredients in the medicine that if it sits in your body, it may cause something else to start happening. So even, you know, with any form of cancer, that new rule is if you can drink a gallon or 2 gallons of water a day, when you're taking medication, you can live much longer. You don't need that medication to set in your system. So those are just things that we continue to push. And I was telling the young man the other day, we have a backpack for our seniors, our adult people. And then that backpack is things that they need to keep all the time with them. And of course, it's a water bottle in there that they can refill wherever they go. There's a water fountain, just keep refilling that bottle. There is a list of a paper for all of the medications that they take. So if they get somewhere and they can't remember, I don't know what I took. And so you can just go in your backpack and get everything out that you need and keep that backpack with you.
I love that. I love that. You know, Sickle Cell Awareness Month that's coming up, isn't it?
It's September. It's now.
It's
September.
September. Right. Is there anything that North Alabama Sickle Cell Center is going to be doing, you know, for Sickle Cell Awareness Month?
Okay, we are preparing for an event, a small walk on the campus of Alabama A&M. We have a fish fry event in Hillsborough, Alabama. And we have a Paint the Town Red walk in Hillsborough, Alabama. And I left my brochure in the office, but I believe the fish fry has to be on there. I believe it's the 18th of September. And the walk is 3 days later, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So it's got to be the 21st of September in Hillsborough, Alabama. So in Huntsville, the small walk around the campus, the display of all of our material. We will hopefully have Pfizer there, which is one of our major supporters in helping with sickle cell research. And all the time, our office is open. Anybody need any questions, anybody need any brochures, anybody want to have a health fair at their particular church, call us. We can get our volunteers together. I can only go to one location at a time unless one is in the morning and one is in the afternoon.
Right.
But we're here to give out all the information that anybody needs or wants. So, and then we're following the national as to what they're doing. And we made a sickle cell drink. So if you want to have a sickle cell celebration, it's non-alcohol, but it's just a drink to celebrate during the month of September.
Outstanding, outstanding. Hey, folks, those who are viewing, by all means, if you have any questions in regards to sickle cell, her number is going scrolling across the bottom of the screen, her information, point of contact. Please reach out. And if you have any doubts within yourself, I think the best idea is just to go ahead and get yourself tested like this so you can understand, or are your children or family or friends who need to be tested that you're not sure if they've been tested as a child. So you have a peace of mind to understanding what's going on. And as Miss Pam said, there's things that we can do to help ourselves, and we have to start doing that. We have to start helping ourselves, drinking that water, eating right. And it's hard for all of us. It's hard for all of us because for so many years, we've been fed certain things, and that's what we're in tune with. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to get that change going so that you can have the right things in your body and get the right things out. And you said something very key there that made me think back when taking certain medicine. It says, take this with a full glass of water. Mm-hmm. And like this, I always say, well, I need a whole full glass. All I do is just need to swallow it. It's in my stomach. I'm good. But I realized and I found out that sometimes the way some of these medicines are designed, they don't actually work unless there's enough water in your body to make it do what it needs to do. So you're just taking that sip and swallowing that pill. You're not actually making it do what it needs to do. And I've learned that, and I realized that when you just said it again, now it's all starting to come full circle to me, and I understand it a lot more now.
Yes.
So, hey, Miss Pam, we appreciate you coming in this evening and talking to us about sickle cell. Is there anything you would like to say to the viewers before we close?
One of the factors with our office is that we have to raise funds to support our clients. We don't get any funds from the state of Alabama to support our clients. So we have 4 major activities that we ask you to support us with. And one of them is annual giving. That means you can give any time of the year, whatever amount you want to give, and that helps us. And our walkathon in the first Saturday in June is our major fundraiser, and you can form teams for that walkathon. But we also participate in the Belts charity, and so we just need you to help us with that. And we have the automobile tags. We're the first in the United States, the state of Alabama, to have a sickle cell tag. And so we're asking if you would like to have a tag on your car when you go back to renew, and you can get that tag personalized. And that helps us tremendously. I think last year we got in about $15,000 just from the tags. And these tags, I cover 10 counties in North Alabama, so I get the credit of the funding from those 10 counties buying the tags. Of course, Birmingham, Jefferson County is the leader in tag purchases. But Alabama, Huntsville can beat us now. We're moving up. So those are means of financial support to help us. And we got a child going into surgery this month to get a bone marrow from her brother so she can be cured from sickle cell. So we're in support of that family, helping that family. They will be in that process for approximately 6 weeks. So they need support. Mm-hmm. So we're there to support them. And like I said, the funding that we raise is the funds that we use to support our clients.
Hey, that was outstanding. And folks, viewers, those who are watching, don't be one of those who wait until something actually happens to you or happens to a family member and now you want to support. Go ahead and support now. Like she said, every little bit counts. It doesn't take a lot. No one's asking for thousands and millions of dollars to come from your pocket. If you just want to donate a small $5 a month, believe me, that $5 a month will help. It helps, so even as us as a nonprofit, we always still try to help others, like just because we know what it's like and we know what it means to support our community. And that's what we're always going to do is try to support our community. Ms. Pam, we appreciate you for coming in. Thank you very much for sharing this information. I know it's been a long time coming, but I wanted to make sure we got this information back out to all our viewers because it is important and they need to know what's going on with our community and how we're trying to support our people and get things right and make things better for us.
And thank you for inviting me.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Hey, viewers, as always, remember your yesterday is not your today and your today is not your tomorrow. Good night.